Ever scrolled past a Doge meme and wondered, how did this even become a thing?
Right. It's the meme coin
Right.
that went mainstream,
Exactly.
but it's actually more than just a joke.
Yeah, we're going to dive deep into the surprisingly technical world of Dogecoin,
Oh,
all thanks to this white paper. Someone was really interested in the origins, the code that started it all.
yeah, from way back
So let's get into it.
in 2013. It's fascinating to see how this document reveals a lot about how crypto was evolving even back then.
Okay, so picture it. 2013,
Peak meme era,
peak internet humor. Everyone's chuckling at the Doge meme.
but quietly
Yeah.
behind the scenes.
Behind the scenes, this cryptocurrency is being built. Yeah, and that's important, right? Because almost by accident, Dogecoin shows how quickly crypto was becoming mainstream. Even as a joke, people were encountering blockchain, which kind of set the stage for how we see it used today.
For sure. I mean, even if it was just a joke, it got people thinking about this new technology.
Okay, let's unpack this white paper a little bit.
Yeah.
Right off the bat, it mentions script, which I don't know about you.
Sounds serious.
It sounds like something out of a sci-fi movie to me. What is that, and why is it essential for Dogecoin?
It does sound intimidating, but it's actually simpler than you might think.
Okay, good.
Think of script as a unique kind of lock, and computers have to pick that lock to add transactions to the Dogecoin blockchain. It's basically the engine that powers their system of proof of work.
Proof of work.
Okay, now you're just using big words to make me feel clueless.
Sorry. No, it's actually
Break it down for us.
to mine cryptocurrency and add to the blockchain. Computers have to solve these really complex math problems. This whole process of solving those problems, that's what we call proof of work.
Okay, so it's like a big Sudoku puzzle for computers.
Kind of, yeah.
And the faster they solve it, the more Dogecoins they get.
Exactly. And it's designed to be difficult to make sure that adding new blocks to this chain, to the blockchain, is secure, it's trustworthy, and it's not easily manipulated.
So script is just Dogecoin's way of doing that.
Exactly. It's their specific way of implementing that proof of work system. And here's where it gets interesting. Dogecoin's script is different from Bitcoin's.
How so?
Well, they actually took inspiration from another cryptocurrency called Litecoin. Ah, okay.
Which uses a similar system.
So they were kind of like taking a tested recipe and just adding their own little Doge twist to it.
Exactly.
Hmm.
They weren't totally starting from scratch. And in fact, the white paper even mentions Tenebricks as an influence. So they were looking at what was already working and kind of adapting it for their own purposes.
Borrowing from the greats.
Exactly. And you see that a lot in the crypto space, this kind of open borrowing and tweaking of existing technology.
So they were riffing off the classics. Got it. But speaking of building on what's already there, let's talk about block rewards for a second, because the white paper mentions 10,000 Doge per block mined.
Yeah,
That seems like
it's a lot.
a lot.
It's huge compared to most cryptocurrencies, and it goes back to those early days in 2013. Initially, the block reward actually fluctuated, but it quickly realized that could make the system really unstable.
So they decided to go big or go home with that 10,000 Doge reward.
Yeah.
They really wanted to incentivize people, I guess. But what I find fascinating is how open they were about it all. The white paper, it even tells you how to build the software.
That's right.
Like, they wanted everyone to get involved, not just a select few.
That's a really important point because remember, this was a time when cryptocurrency was still very much in its infancy. And by making that code open source and providing those instructions, they were essentially saying, hey, come help us build this.
Yeah.
It was a very deliberate move to democratize access to this technology.
And did it work? Did people actually jump in and start tinkering?
Yeah, in fact,
The Dogecoin code.
Dogecoin's playful nature, I think, ended up being one of its greatest strengths because it attracted this whole community of developers and enthusiasts who might not have been drawn to, say, the seriousness of Bitcoin.
It's like the gateway drug to the world of crypto.
Exactly.
You start by laughing at the Doge meme, and then suddenly you're digging into lines of code.
Yeah, and because it was so approachable, people felt comfortable experimenting, making changes, learning as they went. And this led to, I think, a surge in development and innovation within the Dogecoin community.
Wow.
They even implemented new features and improvements faster than some of the more established cryptocurrencies at the time.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Who knew a meme coin could spark so much ingenuity? But it all goes back to that white paper, which seemed to embrace this open source ethos from the very beginning.
It did, and this emphasis on collaboration wasn't just a one-off thing for Dogecoin. I think it reflected a broader movement within the crypto space, this belief that by working together, sharing
So they were not only building a cryptocurrency, they were building a community.
100%.
And it sounds like that community played a huge role in Dogecoin's early success.
Without a doubt, it was the community that kept the momentum going, spreading the word, creating the memes, and ultimately propelling Dogecoin into the mainstream consciousness.
Okay, so we've seen how Dogecoin went from meme to movement, but what about its lasting impact? Beyond the laughs and the community, what does its story tell us about the evolution of cryptocurrency?
That's a great question. I think one of the most significant things about Dogecoin is that it challenged the prevailing notion of what cryptocurrency had to be. Up until that point, crypto was seen as this very serious, almost intimidating technology.
Yeah.
Dogecoin came along and said, hey, it can be fun too.
It's like the class clown who ends up teaching everyone a really valuable lesson.
Exactly. Dogecoin proved that you didn't need a complex white paper filled with jargon to get people excited about cryptocurrency. Sometimes a little humor and a relatable mascot can go a long way.
It's really incredible to see how something that started as a joke could really shake things up in the crypto space.
Yeah.
But this whole deep dive has got me thinking.
What's that?
Dogecoin's story isn't over, is it?
Not even close. And the white paper, it actually hints at something really interesting. Remember those 10,000 Doge block rewards we were talking about?
Yeah, it felt like we hit the jackpot just thinking about it.
Well, here's the catch. Unlike Bitcoin, which has a limited supply, Dogecoin was designed to keep generating those rewards potentially forever.
Hold on, wait. So new Doge is always being created.
That's right.
Doesn't that kind of undermine the whole idea of scarcity that makes crypto valuable in the first place?
That's the million Doge question, right?
Yeah.
It goes against a lot of the traditional thinking around digital currencies.
Yeah.
Most cryptocurrencies are designed to become more scarce over time, which drives up the value. But Dogecoin flips the script.
So are we all just chasing an infinite pile of Doge that's never going to run out? What does that even mean for its future value?
It's a fascinating economic experiment, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Some people argue that this constant influx of new coins could lead to inflation and potentially devalue Dogecoin in the long run.
Too much of a good thing, right? Even digital coins.
Right. But on the other hand, some people argue that Dogecoin's inflationary model could actually work in its favor.
Okay, now I'm really confused. How could inflation ever be a good thing?
Think of it this way. Because new Doge is always being created, it kind of encourages people to spend it rather than hoard it, like we see with some people with Bitcoin. This constant flow of transactions could theoretically create a more stable and usable currency for everyday purchases.
So it's all about finding that balance, that sweet spot between supply and demand.
Yeah.
So they're betting on Dogecoin becoming like the go-to currency for buying, I don't know, dog treats online.
Maybe, who knows? But on a more serious note, this question of infinite supply versus scarcity,
Yeah.
it's one of the most intriguing aspects of Dogecoin's legacy, I think. It challenges us to really rethink our assumptions about digital value and explore some alternative economic models in this world of cryptocurrency.
Wow, it's mind-blowing to think that a meme-inspired cryptocurrency could bring up such deep economic questions.
It really is fascinating.
You really don't need a PhD when you have Dogecoin, huh?
Exactly. It just goes to show sometimes those unexpected places, those silly places, can lead to some really profound discoveries. And I think that's the beauty of this whole space. It's constantly evolving, it's challenging us, it's pushing us to think in new and exciting ways.
Absolutely. Well said. And on that note, we're going to leave our listeners to ponder the infinite possibilities of Dogecoin. Maybe grab some dog treats online with their Doge if they're feeling up to it. Thanks for diving deep with us.